Conversations with Nicole. Let's talk about it. Tell me all about it. I'm here. I wanna know what's on your mind. Ooh, the world needs to hear from you, and I'm so glad to have a conversation to reach the nation. And it's all about you. We'll help each other to discover innovative ways to positively change the world. Let's talk about, let's talk about, yeah. Let's talk about conversations with Nicole.
Greetings. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Conversations with Nicole. I am Nicole Everett, your host, and Conversations with Nicole is a talk show based in Tallahassee, Florida, focused on connecting the community through conversations. And today is what I call Wellness Wednesday. Wellness Wednesday is an opportunity for you, me, and my guests to chat about whatever it is we want to talk about. And today, our conversation is entitled, You Have to Be a Man to Say What a Man Is. I know it's a little controversial, but we're going to get into it. So my very special guest is Mr. Andre Shaw II, who is a clinician here in Tallahassee. And so I'm excited and delighted to have him here with me. But before I bring him on, I want to hear from you. Where are you tuning in from? We are live on Facebook. We are live on YouTube. We are live on LinkedIn. So if you will, in the comments, put your city and state so we can give you a shout out. I see you, Mr. Marcus Boston, who is in the Tampa area. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I know you're going to be engaged in this conversation tonight. So please tag a friend, please like and share and let folks know they need to be on for this conversation. Both Mindset Monday and Wellness Wednesdays are opportunities for us to engage with one another. We're all about encouraging folks to get their checkup from the neck up and being their best selves. So we are going to dive into this topic. Today has been a great day for me here in town. Today we celebrated the almighty Joe Bullard. Today was his 71st birthday. And so we had a celebration for him at the moon. And so it's been a pretty cool day today. Not only that, but just beautiful weather here in town and just an all around great day. So I see you, Eric Sewell in Pensacola. Thank you for being here. And Mr. Nick Rains, my brother here in Tally Ho, who is also a counselor, a licensed clinical social worker. Thank you for being here. And my A is here, Miss Martha. Thank you for being here in Tally. I appreciate you so much. All right. Well, I am going to go ahead and introduce Andre Shaw II, who is a mental health therapist and a community liaison for mental health as well. He graduated from the Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University, go Rattlers, with his bachelor's in psychology in 2008 and his master's in psychology in 2010 after defending his thesis on views of masculinity. So I think he may be just a little qualified to talk about this. He got a chance to travel the country before he began doing therapy, which gives him a unique emphasis on sustaining peace and broadening your perspective. He taught multiple psychology courses for 2 years. He's been in the field for 5 years, working mostly with male at-risk youth from disadvantaged communities. And he is also the founder of Just an Ear Professional Listening Services. Y'all help me welcome Andre Shaw II. Hey.
Greetings. How you doing, sister?
I'm well. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. So, Andre, if you don't mind, I know I read a little bit of your bio. I want to know about you. Tell me, who is Andre Shaw? Not what you do, but who are you?
Andre Shaw is, I'll say, a young man who's learning a lot of lessons about aging.
Okay.
But one of the things that I really emphasize is I have a positive regard for young people And I really believe that it's important that we focus on changing individuals and making sure that they focus making sure that their emphasis is on being healthy. And
Mm,
if we can make an individual healthy, at peace, then we'll see more harmonious approaches to people's attitudes, to the way people carry themselves, the way they get along with others, and we will also see our community grow. And I just see that being a possible thing taking place from, all walks of life, with all of our people, black people all over the country, and I think that it's more possible than it seems.
I
That's who I am, and I hope that makes sense to you.
Yeah, that's cool. Yes, it does. So, talk a little bit about how you even got involved with psychology and, being a clinician. Just talk a little bit about your journey as it relates to that.
Okay, so a very funny story. When I was younger, just like most young black males, I thought I was going to play in the NFL.
Mm,
Living in one of the community that I grew up in, one of my homeboys, I'll just keep it real. One of my homeboys, he was with my homegirl and he dumped her. And
mm,
you can imagine all the different reasons why he did that, especially at that age. So
okay.
she was feeling really sad and she was feeling really down. And she said something to the effect that this situation is going to make me never want to be in love again. And
Mm,
so I had listened to a song by Boys to Men at the time, and it was basically "Never let a past love take your chance of love away." So
okay.
I said, her saying that, I said, "I have something for you," and I went and got the CD back in the days and gave her the CD, and
Uh-huh.
she listened to it, and she came back and she said, "You know what? That really helped me." And
Okay.
football wasn't looking so good at the time.
Gotcha.
Um, I just my mom just didn't know how to meet all the deadlines to get me to even try. And at the time, I was like, I think I'm going to do the psychiatry thing, psychology, whatever it's called.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
so ever since 11th grade, 12th grade, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. So
Wow.
that's how it started. And I went to me and my buddy, we decided we were going to go to a black school.
Okay.
And we looked at FAMU, and that's where the journey was born.
Nice. Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that story.
Mhm.
Appreciate it. All right. Well, we got a few more folks that have joined us. We got Benicia Hires, who is here in Tallahassee. Thank you for joining us, and also a clinician, and Miss Sharice Du Bois, who is in Atlanta. Thank you for being here, Reese. Appreciate you. So, before we get started, I want to read my disclaimer. Because I don't want y'all just to mistake this for counseling. Although I know it's gonna be good as counseling, but I don't want y'all to mistake it for it. So anyway, all topics, past, present, and future, on Conversations with Nicole are for informational purposes only. They are not to be used as a diagnosis for treatment or an answer to any personal issues related to the topic being discussed before, during, or after the program. All right. So this topic, listen, you did your thesis on
Mhm.
masculinity.
Yes. Very
Yes.
long title. Mhm.
Uh-huh, 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 uh-huh. And so hence this is why we have selected the topic that we have tonight, which is you have to be a man to say what a man is.
Interesting.
So since you have some knowledge on this, being a man, well as your
Naturally.
your research, let's start out with what you believe a man is.
Okay, so what I believe a man is first and foremost the way. Let me provide a framework, if you will.
Okay.
So when I was a young man at the age of in my early 20s, me and a group of guys, we decided to create a group and learn some skills. And the first thing we started with was gender.
Okay.
And so we decided to get with some older men who are actually married
Okay.
and have them teach us what their views of manhood actually is.
Gotcha.
So I'll say the at the beginning, you're a boy who develops into a man, and there are roles that you have and that you take on. The first role is a son. The second role is most likely a brother.
Okay.
Then you become a friend,
Mhm.
and you should become a husband, and then you should become a father.
Mhm.
And as a father, you learn to teach what you
Okay.
stand on and what you believe in, and
Gotcha.
then you become a man of your community, and you hope to teach others, and that your teachings and your principles that you believe in spread and grow.
Okay.
So that is my introduction to what I believe a man is,
Okay.
and so that's my answer to that.
All right. So y'all heard that: a son, a brother, a friend, a father, husband, and then I guess an elder or community teacher, if you will, of sorts.
For the things that you believe in and the things that you stand on and represent.
Okay.
So, yes, ma'am.
All right. All right. And so what is all of that?
Okay. So, first, some of the core things about being a son is that you are to be taught and you are to learn. And you have your own impulses and gratification and the things that you would like to do, but you have to be corrected. And so, part of being a son is being chastised and
Okay.
being checked, and someone uh, pouring into you and instilling into you healthy views of life, spirituality, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And
Mhm.
over time, you take these lessons and you learn how to apply them. So when you go on into the real world, you are able to respond to situations in a healthy way, productive way, and you continuously grow.
Okay.
So that is the son. A brother, you
So
learn.
hold
Okay,
just
sorry.
no, it's okay. Hold on. So I want to pull the viewers in. All right.
Mhm.
Because I've had similar discussions as this,
Okay,
in terms of identifying like masculinity and manhood, and outside of biology,
right.
I would like to know from the viewers, what do you all believe it means to be a man? And I know we have a number of ladies on here, so and that's cool. But what does it mean to be a man in your opinion? My mom is on here. Thank you for being here, Ma. I appreciate you. Love you. And Miss Tracy Golay, who is in Tallahassee as well. Oh, we got Ozzy on here as well in Virginia Beach. Thank you for being here, Ozzy. Ozzy is also a clinician. So the clinicians are running things tonight. Appreciate you. All right. So if you all don't mind sharing in the comments, what does it mean to be a man? How would you define manhood or what a man is? Again, outside of biology, meaning whatever physical attributes he may have. All right. What does it mean to be a man? All right, go ahead. So you mentioned sonship. You talked about what a
Mhm.
son is. All right. So what is a brother?
So, being a brother, you learn how to begin relationships with someone. It could be of the same sex as you, or it could be of the opposite sex of you. And
Mm.
so, if you have a brother, you learn how to train each other. You learn how to support each other and connect with that person. You learn how to protect them and defend them, and you also learn from each other. So if you have any ideas, you may share ideas, and you may challenge each other's ideas. You laugh, you joke, and you should, in a healthy, stable environment, you should leave space for you all to express your feelings
Okay.
and what you go through. So that's for if when a brother has a brother, when a brother has a sister, he learns how to respond to girls. He learns the way he should conduct himself in front of girls or around girls,
Okay.
and he learns that, especially, well, we can say traditionally, even though things change, society changes over time, but he learns how to respond, how to communicate, how to let her express her feelings, and learns the way that she expresses herself.
Okay.
So that's what I believe a brother is. And you defend and you fight for and you commit to the protection and the greater good of your siblings, and sometimes you all actually keep each other's secrets
Mm.
and you don't tell on each other.
Okay.
You're supposed to learn that.
Okay. All right.
Mhm.
All right. So we got a few comments. We got Oba, who is here in Tallahassee. Thank you for joining us. And Peter, who is also here in Tallahassee. Thank you for joining us, Peter. All right. Oba said, taking care of your responsibilities, keeping your word, and being a person of character and integrity. So that is his definition of a man or manhood. All right. Thank you for sharing that. We're going to hold that for just a moment, but I appreciate you sharing. Okay, so we talked about a brother. Anything else related to brotherhood?
Yes, the things that you learn, you test each other. And there's also something that can be considered like cooperative competition.
Mhm,
So you challenge your brother's strength. You teach your brother how to fight, and you make sure that the people that you love also learn how to defend themselves and protect themselves when you're not around.
okay.
And as I said earlier, you support them. And if you see something happening to them, you run to their aid. This also helps building with social skills and how to get along with others when
Mhm,
they're not around.
okay.
Mhm.
All right. Monique Graham is with us, my home girl down in Miami. She said, a man provides and also has knowledge and wisdom to pass on to family and community, as well as treat women well and respect them. Okay. Appreciate that one, Monique. Thank you for joining us tonight. All right. Eric says a man is a multifaceted individual embodying strength, resilience, and compassion. He is defined not merely by his physical attributes, but by his character, integrity, and actions. A man embraces responsibility, faces challenges with courage, and strives for personal growth while contributing positively to his community. He nurtures meaningful relationships, respects diversity, and champions equality. Ultimately, a man is a reflection of his values, principles, and the impact he leaves on the and it cut off. So you may have to give us a part two to that definition, Eric. But thank you for sharing that as well. Wow, that is quite multifaceted, like you said, and it sounds kind of all encompassing. So again, wow, that sounds pretty complicated. I don't know, but it sounds good though. Thank you for
That's a
sharing
good
that.
start.
It,
Complicated. It can be
it
complicated
is.
to
It
be a
is. It
man.
could
Mhm.
be. It could be. All right. So brotherhood, you said you talked about some of the challenges that you have with with the
You
I guess
support.
relationships or what have you.
Mhm. Yes,
Mhm.
ma'am. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like it creates the framework for how you deal with other people.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything else?
A friend.
Friend, okay.
A friend is where you take what you learn from being a brother and apply it to people that you don't know. You
Okay.
learn how to connect with others. You learn how some people they are better to be around. Over time, you realize that some people that you believe are your friend, they have a limited capacity. They
Mm,
have their strengths and weaknesses. You
mhm,
also learn that some people you will not be able to keep in your life or your circle.
mm,
Uh, you find commonalities and you look for the things that are meaningful to you. And when you're younger, it's fun, it's jokes, it's helping each other out. But the older you get, the more you develop and the more you mature,
mm,
you realize that okay, everybody can't be my friend, and also your friends are a reflection of how you see yourself. So your
mm,
self concept, your self worth, your self esteem, your self confidence, and
mhm,
so your friends and being a brother, they start to shape into where your maturity starts to come into play, and now we start to go into the mental health aspect of who you feel like you are.
Did you say, your friend is a reflection of your self-worth?
Yes. Well, your friend is a reflection of how you see yourself. So to me, that includes your self concept, the way
Mm,
you see yourself, and which includes your self esteem, your self worth, and they also help shape these things. And you
Wow.
realize, as I said, you realize who your friends are and who your friends won't be. And so you start to filter out who you're going to have in your life, the type of people you're going to have in your life.
Wow. Interesting.
Mhm.
Okay.
It's an ongoing learning process.
Indeed. In-
Mhm.
Indeed. Okay, let me pause. Marcus Boston, he said being a friend is doing what is needed without complaining and regardless of your feelings. He takes care of his responsibilities and those he protects can safely trust him. All right. Thank you for sharing that, Marcus. Monique said maturity is very important, I think is what she's saying. All right, cool. We got Miss Brittany on with us. Thank you for being here, Brittany. All right. So, friend, that was pretty deep. Thank you for sharing that those concepts around what the friend piece is. Anything else as it relates to a friend?
Yeah, you also have circumstances with being a friend where you pick which position you play. What role are you going to play in this circle? You have some folks where their personality is more dominating, and
Mhm.
so you decide, okay, well, if this person is dominating and they may dominate over others, you'll
Mm,
have their back, or you may even look up to them, and you may follow the things that they do, and so they have a big influence on your views and your behavior.
mm, okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Sounds good. All right.
It's going to get juicier.
It's already juicy if you ask me, but come on, let's see what else
Mhm.
you got. All right. So, son, brother, friend. What's next?
A husband.
Husband.
Now, this is a touchy subject, and this is something that I would like to address.
Okay.
I believe that a reflection of our mental health is the type of person that we choose. And I believe that a lot of men should be very selective in who they believe their mate should be,
Mm,
especially if they decide to sign a lifetime contract. They should be very careful with the decisions they are committing to with the person that they choose for that lifelong journey.
can you say that again? Can you?
Might not come out with the same words, but the message here is I believe you have to be very selective of who you choose as your mate. You have the right as a man to try to determine and get to know somebody and evaluate the principles and the values that they have if they align with you. If they do not align with you, then you also have the right to say, this ain't gonna work, and I don't think we should do this.
Mm. Oh, well. Okay.
It's
Yes,
very
sir.
important. Mhm.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So selective about your mate. Okay, gotcha. Any
Mhm.
anything else? And I think the first sentence, which was it's a reflection of your mental health, was key.
It is, and well, let me be more accurate. It's it plays a major part in your mental health because there are a lot of uh, I believe that it is evident that there are a lot of relationships where people are coming together for reasons that they did not really think through. They
Mm,
may have been in a rush or a hurry, and or they did not take the time to make sure the process was what they deem as necessary to commit to somebody for the rest of your life. With all of the things that come into a marriage, you have to consider children, committing, aligning yourself with someone. What do you think your role as a man is? Because all men are not the same. Your
mhm.
personality, your temperament, the way you respond to problems, the way you bounce back, the way you accept support. And so we're really just covering the roles. We didn't even discuss whether your influences were healthy or not,
Mm,
from being a boy to a brother to a friend on up to being a husband.
gotcha. Okay. Sheila has joined us. Thank you for being here. She's here in Tally. All right. Okay, so husband to, is there anything else you want more you can say about husband?
Um, yes, the other the other aspect of the mental health part, I believe I'm learning that a lot of men know that they aspire to be the leader,
Mm-hmm.
but they also deal with a lot of pressure
Mm,
with carrying all of the weight. And most of us don't even know how to express our feelings. We
mm,
weren't taught that. We were influenced, and we follow this idea that you have to be strong. You're not supposed to show your feelings.
mm-hmm.
Regardless of your feelings, you keep on pushing until we reach a certain point, a breaking point,
Yeah.
where we feel like, okay, I don't know what to do. We start to self destruct
Mm,
internally and implode. And then now we're starting to have these some of these behaviors that are taking us down a very dark path.
right. Gotcha. Okay.
Hmm.
Um, Monique said the way you accept support. I think you may have said that, so she was just repeating it. Okay. Um, I feel that. It feels kind of heavy, but I feel
Hmm.
that. Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Oh, Dr. Jiva is on. She says, "Hi, Dre."
Hey, Dr. Jeeva, what's happening with you?
Mhm. Got, and Dr. Jiva is here in Tallahassee. And Miss Javon, who is in the ATL area. Thank you for joining us, sis. Appreciate you. So, okay. All right. So, husband. Anything else we want to say about husband?
To be honest with you, I would like for a lot of the men, I am curious as to any men who are married and some of the experiences that they have with being married, because today it seems that a lot of marriages don't last that long. Now there are some that do. So I
Mm-hmm.
believe as long as you are prioritizing yourself and knowing who you are, and you find somebody who can come along that journey with you and support the leadership that you provide. So okay, can I break it down this way?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
A man likes to learn the things that they stand for, and we like to teach. We should understand that in order to be a good leader, you have to be a good follower first.
Mm,
And when you master what you're being taught, you want to take what you've learned and apply it.
mm-hmm.
And while you're on your journey in life, you you should mature and come to the understanding that this would be better. My legacy could carry on if I get with someone who is open to learning the things that I have to teach.
Mm,
And it gives you a sense of fulfillment when you can find a healthy relationship where you can teach someone and they are in support of you. It's not going to be perfect. We understand that. But at the same time, someone who is um, open to cooperating with the strength that a man is expected to provide, that is very healthy, in my opinion. So
okay.
I'm willing to see what some of the experiences are with the actual husbands that are here with us tonight.
All right. So if there are any husbands on the live and one just joined us, Brother Warren Cave, who is here in Tallahassee. Greetings, Warren. Thank you for being here. And Warren is here in Tallahassee. So we are talking about you have to be a man to say what a man is. And we've been talking about the various aspects of manhood, starting first with sonhood, then brotherhood, then friendship, and now we're talking about being a husband. So, for those of you who are men who are married, if you would not mind sharing what that means to you. defining your experience as a husband, what that means for you. We are at almost halfway through our talk. So I'm going to take a moment to do what I call my station break. And that is to share that for those of you who are just joining us, I'm on with Mr. Andre Shaw II, who is a clinician here in Tallahassee. Again, we've been talking about you have to be a man to say what a man is. Ooh, which is a little controversial. We haven't really talked about the controversial piece of that yet, but we're gonna get into it in the second
Yeah,
half.
we're on our way.
So for those who again are just joining us, welcome. Hold on, let me Ish is asking what the to clarify and ask one more time. So Ishmael Rents, who is in Gainesville, my family freshman brother,
Mhm.
wants to know what's the question. So the question is to define what it means to be a husband. What does that mean? What does that look like for you, Ish, who is a husband of more than 20 years? What does that mean? What does that look like? All right, my sister Shayla has joined us as well. Thank you for being here, Shay. All right. Serena is on here. Thank you for Serena is on here. Thank you for being here. And 602 Lorenza. Good evening. Greetings. Thank you for joining us. All right. So let me finish my station ID. Listen, we do have a sponsor for this show. It is the Healing Mother Wounds event, which is taking place on this Saturday, March 23rd. So, are you carrying the weight of unresolved maternal child relationships impacting your life well into adulthood? Well, at the Healing Mother Wounds, they understand. So, join founders Adrian Mills and Dr. Jiva St. Fort, who is on the live with us tonight, at an inaugural brunch workshop. It's time to heal unseen wounds again on Saturday, March 23rd, 2024, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at 812 South Macomb Street in Tallahassee, Florida, which is the old Nefertari's restaurant. There'll be expert speakers from medical and mental health fields. And they will guide discussions on how these wounds affect various aspects of your lives. You can get your tickets at Eventbrite. Search for Healing Mother Wounds, and there is a promo code for students. And as well as I posted it on my Facebook page, so you can also get some information about that event there as well. All right. So 602 Lorenza said being number one, being a provider. So I think he is responding to the husband question. So being a provider. So thank you for sharing that. All right. Any other husbands on the live that wish to share what it means to be a husband? And I know that might cause you to dig deep because maybe what you thought it meant to be a husband before your wedding day might be different from after your wedding day up until now, right? Because just the dynamics of that whole relationship thing, like that day-to-day living, may have changed you and your relationship with your spouse. So let us know what your thoughts are. Again, thank y'all who have shared thus far about manhood and what your thoughts are about that. All right. So
Okay. Might I share about some of the aspects of being a husband? What
you
some
can.
husbands have
Yes,
been experiencing and going through.
please.
Um, I've heard some men say how they had to learn what commitment actually means,
Okay.
and the them getting into a marriage because they were ambitious and they were young and no one taught them,
Mm.
and even their spouse, their wife, they didn't know exactly what they were doing, but they were excited. And then it took a long time for them to learn each other. And this gentleman, he had to realize how important it was to commit to his wife and to actually grow out of his old ways to be true to the relationship and focus solely on how to build this home instead of distractions outside of the home.
So do you see Ish's comment?
Mhm.
He says being the most selfless person in the home.
Hmm.
Now that sounds like a whole nother level of commitment to be the most selfless person in the home.
Yes, indeed. I could only imagine,
Mm,
um, because let me be clear, this experience comes from the work that I do.
mhm,
So, um, there's another gentleman that I spoke with. He had to he had to take his time and express the pain that he's dealt with thinking that you can go in and change someone in a
mm,
relationship in
mm,
that relationship and hoping that they actually grow and learn with you. However, it's taken him a long time to realize that even men go through heartbreak in
mm.
marriage,
Okay.
thinking that.
So let me pause.
Mhm.
Patricia Jefferson has joined us. Thank you for being here, Patricia. Um, hold on. Uh,
Well, while we're trying to get this technical difficulty um, situated, I guess I could get into the other aspect of what I mean by the significance of you have to be a man to say you're a man. Many men spend time alone trying to figure out how to better their situation, carrying the weight of their leadership. And although you may have seen a good example of what a man is, it takes a lot for a man to go to his safe space to find out where that is. He sheds tears, but he doesn't show everybody the pain that he actually goes through.
mm,
So men actually deal with pain as well, and that's the part that we don't actually show the world. We keep that in and we put on the image that we're expected to. And that is the part that we share in barbershops and in men's circles. And
mhm.
most of the times we only feel safe doing that with our sharing this information with our mothers or our sisters as well.
So my apologies for my temporary technical difficulty. Number of comments here, and I was welcoming Patricia when I got cut off, but Ozzy added to Ish's comment about selflessness. He said selfless but respected, which I think is very key. Thank you for sharing that, Ozzy. And then Warren said to be a husband in biblical terms is to be priest, provider, and protector. Not all men are successful in all three areas. Some have to grow in one or all three. Also, women of today don't look biblical first. Okay, I think what he's saying is women don't look at those three areas, like look at men from a biblical standpoint in terms of priest, provider, and protector. All right. Thank you for sharing that, Ozzy. So he says then you have the three C's: Christian, communicating, and caring. Okay. Thank you for sharing that, Warren. And Roz is on with us. Thank you, Roz. Y'all hit the like button, y'all. Roz is trying to tell y'all hit the like button. She being my cheerleader tonight. All right, Marcus. Should a man neglect himself for the greater good of those in his family?
No, I believe if you neglect yourself, you end up losing your sense of self.
Mm,
And what I believe some of the problems are with us, especially black men, um, we take on everything because we have been told, and society tells us that that is what we're supposed to do. But when you commit to your family and you start to lose your social network, the people that you help build you up, and you find yourself dealing with things all alone. As I said earlier, we tend to self-medicate. The one thing about males is our tendency to engage in at-risk behavior. So
mm,
even as young boys, we like to fight, we like to clash, we like to do things that are pretty risky. But if you don't learn how to cope with things while you're young, or you don't have any healthy models or healthy examples in your life, then what you tend to do when you don't know how to cope or neglect yourself, or your issues become overwhelming, is that you begin to you engage in risk-taking behavior as an adult, which usually looks like self-medicating, too
mm,
much drinking, ignoring the pain that you deal with. And that's what mental health is for men and women,
mhm.
but also for men who don't normally take advantage, to deal with those problems and have that safe space that is there for you to just look at your issues from a different angle and be able to reflect, and you can go back better.
All
You
right.
should take care of yourself, right?
Yes,
Mhm.
you should take care of yourself. All right. Rufus is amen into Warren's comments. Monique said, what is meant by this man being a king thing? I'm a king. I need clarity.
Well, every man wants to create a kingdom.
Mm,
Every man sees himself having the potential to build a legacy that will one day become a nation. And so the components and the roles for manhood that was addressed earlier is should lead to you being a leader in a sense.
mhm,
And so you being a leader, you will boost your confidence when you realize that you are able to teach others and lead others and build others up, and that they go off and teach more people. So you just take on that idea that you are a king, but you have to be a healthy man to say that you can to say that you can fill that role. A
mm,
king is not just something to brag about. A
mhm.
king works hard. A king maintains peace and harmony, and a king works hard to make sure that generations to come, the legacy that he has established remains.
Okay.
That's what it should be.
That's what it should be. All right. We got Michael Cork who's joined us, who's here in Tallahassee. Thank you for being here. He said a man was created to lead. We actually mentioned that a little earlier, Cork. I know you just joining us. We got some more questions, though, I definitely want us to get to. So, Dr. Jiva said, what does emotional provision look like for a man?
Well, a man who is in touch with his emotions, he will have ways to express his emotions. He will have a safe space where he can go to deal with his emotions. But men, men mostly look to working out, building their self-image, being able to see their reflection and
Mm,
be proud of themselves. I would like to address something that deals with the biology of a man.
okay.
We should keep in mind that our testosterone keeps us feeling strong. our
Mm,
testosterone, healthy levels of testosterone make you feel like you can take on these responsibilities and that you can lead and defend and you can express yourself boldly and you are able to embody strength. And when most of us don't really know what our health actually is until we take a reactive approach. And so um, to tie all of that stuff into a healthy provision for a man is honestly to have a circle of friends who can build them up, to have some older men in their lives who can teach them, who can tell them the experiences that they had and save that man some time from the mistakes that the older person could tell them that they've made.
indeed.
Mhm.
Um, so we got Javon with the question about why is that when a woman opens up a healthy open space for them to speak on their feelings. Javon, to retype that because I'm not quite. She said, why is that when a woman opens up a healthy open space for them to speak on their feelings? Give us a little clarity on that one. All right. Antonio, thank you for being here. Who's also a clinician here in Tallahassee. He said the origin of husband is master of household, spiritual provider, etc. Many times it is socially defined, but the origin doesn't change. A real man maintains the integrity of his title. God is my model. Okay. Thank you for sharing that, Antonio. Appreciate your perspective. Also, let's see. Ozzy said a king serves. Okay. Ozzy, let us know what give me a little more, Ozzy, if you don't mind. Nick, many times an example has been set by the father of the woman. It can be a challenge sometimes for the husband if he does not resemble or is allowed to be the husband he aspires to be. Interesting point. Thank you for sharing that, Nick. All right, and Kiosha has just joined us. Thank you for being here, Miss Kiki, who is here in Tallahassee. So I mean, I know we have a lot of folks have said a lot of things, but I want to get to the real root of this whole topic.
Okay, so what I believe is important is that men know what real men are, and we talk what manhood is and what masculinity is a construct that we developed as the conditions of our society changes and as we adapt to them.
Mm,
And so we can trace back to the issues that we had in the past, from being oppressed, or before then, being harmonious in our families and focusing on our land and being oppressed and trying to fight the oppression that we had to deal with up
mhm,
to the point where we had to focus on saving our family, and we also struggled with being able to express our manhood because when we were challenged, it meant life or death.
mhm,
And so today, as we have adapted to all of these different societal situations,
mhm,
we speak amongst ourselves about what we struggle with. And I believe that a man can a man can tell when another man has ill intentions,
mhm,
and a man can save women from making certain choices with men that they do not need to be with. And
exactly.
one of the things that I wanted to address is that being in love with someone who has ill intentions, it has extremely detrimental effects on that individual and
Okay.
bringing kids into the world. And I believe that the conversation of masculinity and manhood needs to be had more by us, and we should establish what manhood is to us today. And we should also make a distinction of those who that construct fits and and who it does not fit.
Okay.
So the juicy part of that is, let me go to the mental health aspect of it.
All right.
I deal with a lot of young boys who have single moms who end up in a relationship with someone who does not care about the woman or the child,
Mm-hmm.
and the child suffers and does not have an actual a model of what a man actually is and what a man actually does.
Mm.
They do not pour into them, and what ends up happening is that child has all of these emotional problems, aggression. He has a tendency to react to things violently, and
Mm-hmm.
they don't know who they are. And during their through their development, from being a child to their adolescence to growing up into a young adult, they make all of these risky decisions, and they are not able to make uh, productive choices. And I
Okay.
believe that it's the job of the men to step up and be a part of these young boys' lives and save them a lot of time and a lot of uh, poor decisions and poor judgment that they may cause themselves. So I
So
feel like I was all over the place, but
we and we got a lot. We got a lot of comments. Javon, I'm gonna get back to yours in a minute. I want to touch on Antonio's, and I see yours, Monique, as well. So Antonio said, "Great topic, brother. If we want to be even more technical, the wife isn't supposed to even raise the kids. That's the husband's job. The wife is supposed to support. Now, notice how far the man has swayed from that responsibility, which I find that to be very interesting." That comment, Antonio. And I think maybe, Antonio, you may be coming from a biblical sense. If so, let me know. Let us know in the comments.
okay. I
All right.
believe that they shouldn't do it alone. They should
No,
have help.
no, absolutely.
It's
Yeah, that's not the design, I don't believe.
one of the easiest things for a man to do is to get a young child together, so that so the it's easy for us to enforce the discipline. And
Hmm.
children, they react to us naturally, and they just kind of control their behavior without us putting much effort into getting their attention. When I
It's the
know that
voice.
they're hmm?
It's the voice. It's the voice. Um,
It's the presence.
it is the presence, but it's
It's the
the
presence.
voice. It's something about y'all's voice and the authority and the deepness and
It's
I
the
don't
masculine nature of a
yeah,
man to
yeah.
be able to demand and command, and not put all that effort into it, all that yelling and screaming and hollering. It's just try it again and see what happens. That's all it takes sometimes.
Yeah, Court just said it's the grace. I would agree with that. All right, let me go back. Javon, she said her comment was based on a conversation while I was down having my technical issue. She said that, Dre, you said that most men open up in the barbershops or mothers or sisters, and she was asking why are they not able to open up to their woman when and if she gives him an open, healthy space to do so.
Because a lot of men fear that showing you my vulnerability will one day come back on me, and you may use that, uh, or the man may feel like you might use that against me if I anger you, or if I fall short, if I become weak. That uh, that openness that I shared with you will come back in my face, and
Mm,
that feels like betrayal.
gotcha.
And men are more vulnerable than you think we are. We're
Mm,
more vulnerable than we think we are, but we're told not to show that.
right.
We express it when things become overwhelming, and we shut down.
Right. Okay. So, Roz said, when a man is healthy and whole and being a leader, provider, and protector for his family, then a healthy and whole wife can prioritize taking care of the home, children, and husband. Self completing cycle. Agreed. When he's healthy and whole and being a leader, provider, and protector. Yes, all of those things. All right, Monique says, so a man who wasn't raised by a dad or wasn't around any older gentlemen, role models is going to be toxic, question mark. Especially a godless man, question mark. Also a friendless man who no one, um,
Can
I think,
learn from.
yeah, who has no one to learn from, correct? Question mark. Your thoughts?
More than likely. Now, the core of who you are is who you how you carry yourself, and that's going to be your it's going to show in your behavior. However, there are so many influences out here that if a young boy does not have a man to pour into him and instill into him knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, the things in life that will help you focus on being productive, then more than likely the negative influences are going to be stronger than the positive influences.
Mm,
And so, if there are not any men to test them, take them through some form of rites of passage, more than likely they're going to have their willpower to avoid the temptations and impulses and gratification is going to be weaker. So it is very important to have men in boys' lives, older men in younger men's lives.
okay. Uh, let's see. Audrey, I'm gonna come back to your question in just a minute. Dr. Jiva says, so can you invite us women to the barbershop to have an opportunity to listen on what men need us to know about their internal mental world they are not allowed to show?
Maybe not the barber shop literally, because it is our safe space. However, we should come to the table and figure out where we actually can meet.
Mm,
Platforms like this, but even places in your community.
mm,
What type of facility can we actually come and, the men have their men's circles, the women have their women's circles, and we all share, hey, what do you need and what can we help you with?
yeah.
And vice versa.
Yeah. Seven Souls of Vengeance says, intriguing. If you don't have a dad, you got to have some OGs with wisdom around you.
Very true.
That's what's being said. And yeah, Audrey's saying no. Safe space. The brothers need their safe space, basically, is what she's saying.
Yes, we do.
Uh, Let me go back. So Audrey also asked, she said, is the feeling of manhood because of nature or nurture? The feeling of manhood.
The feeling of manhood is in my opinion is natural, but when you connect with other men, then it is nurtured.
Mm,
And it's if you go along this journey on your own, which a lot of young men do, depending on the conditions of their generation, you
mhm,
find out the hard way. It takes you forever. But we also have to keep in mind, in our community, being at the bottom of the totem pole, it could mean your life, the decisions that you make, the
mm,
risks that you take as a young man. I mean, look at the kids today. They shoot, they don't even fight, and social media is raising them. And yeah, so without it being nurtured, your nature could go in the wrong direction, which I believe is self-destruction. And
mm.
okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, no, this is good. This is good. No, Javon is saying this topic is so important. And we got Dr. Willie Williams, who is joining us. Good evening. My brother, he is here in Tallahassee, and he's done some, I think his dissertation was on Black boys mentorship of Black men and boys.
Mhm.
All right, so Seven Soul said this is a challenge in our community. The quote unquote establishment doesn't want us to raise up the warrior class. So that needs to be a priority placed on this.
Yes, it does.
Yes, yes, yes.
It does.
We got Amy Elizabeth who just joined us. Thank you for being here. Michael Corey said the feeling is nature and perception, and how it's acted out is nurtured of manhood. All
And so,
right.
can I say this?
Yeah.
After all of these issues that our race has dealt with, we
Mm-hmm.
need to come together and establish what we want it to be today.
Mm,
Because there will come a time when us men now will become older and the constructs will change or adapt to whatever the environment is.
mm-hmm.
And it is our job to look at the way, what we know the future will be due to all of these changes and political things that are happening. I mean, look how crazy the governor is and look what he has the audacity to do.
Mm.
We need to come together and build a future provisional defense and establish what we believe manhood and masculinity is to them. I hope that makes sense.
It makes sense. And Marcus, because we had an hour. Look, we already here. We over an hour now. The Marcus said, when is part two? we gonna have to schedule it. Listen,
God's timing, God's
'cause
timing.
we still got more questions. I didn't even get to who was that? Javon wanted to know, is there a way for men to overcome that fear of vulnerability, that fear of, I guess, the woman throwing it back up in his face, you know. So how can men overcome that?
Well, the way a man can overcome the fear is you have to show me over time that you are to be trusted in that aspect because it's going to take me a long time given the things that I've been through. And you have to think most men were not raised with their fathers. So we didn't even learn how to communicate our feelings. And it's
Oh,
weird to us to talk about our feelings. You know, that's when you're a boy, that's for girls. When you're older, I don't what you talking about?
right. You don't even know how to
You
because
don't
you've been so trained to not talk about your feelings.
right. And so and then at the end of the day, it has been experienced that when you try to talk about your feelings, all you got to do is make somebody mad enough and they're going to make you pay.
So y'all are hanging in. So if y'all don't mind, let's try to. We still like we didn't even really get to the statement like you have to be a man to stay with a man. We really have not touched this. We really have been very foundational. Okay. Um. So listen, I want to be respectful for your time. If y'all can hang in there for a little bit more,
I'm good. This
okay,
is my night.
okay, cool.
This is my
All
thing.
right, Dre. Dre said it's his night. Listen,
Well, not like that, but this doing this is what
I'm
I had planned for
teasing,
my
I'm
night.
teasing, I'm
Yeah, I ain't got nothing to do. Talk
all
to
right.
God.
All right. So Audrey said the psychological imprints definitely contour the behaviors of chakra, I think is what she was saying.
Hmm.
Agree, Audrey. And that's a whole nother thing. Like we didn't even get into energies or any of that sort of stuff
Right,
yet.
right. We didn't
Eric,
talk about the nighttime activities, which
uh,
play a part.
Okay, Eric. While women may appreciate the advantages that come with manhood and masculinity, only a man truly understands the intricate process of creating, nurturing, and developing these qualities. So, this is the heart right here. Like what Eric is saying, this is the heart of the matter. The nuances of upbringing, socialization, and personal experiences unique to being a man shape the embodiment of masculinity. From childhood through adulthood, men navigate societal expectations, cultural norms, and personal growth to cultivate their sense of manhood. It's a journey, and he got cut off, but like to me, that is the heart of what really I was hoping we would kind of get into. But this is good. This is good. This is good.
Mhm.
Real quick, Antonio, he said, let me clarify. If a man is supposed to be the head, he is also tasked to raise, as in guide, direct bring up. I'm glad you clarified what raise is. Okay. He is the leader. Yes, he needs to support I think he meant the support of his wife, but the man should take the lead on that raising. A man should also ask for help. We have been conditioned to not ask for help, which has led to a host of issues. Boom. That's a whole that's a whole nother show. But woo, look,
And
y'all
think
go ahead. Go
about
ahead.
it.
What you
I
got?
was
What
gonna say, and think about it. There are a lot of boys out there, a lot of young men out there who are raised around nothing but women,
you got?
and so they know that there's supposed to be more to them than what they're getting. There's a way that men teach young boys where we give them part of the lesson, but we
Mhm,
don't give them all of the lesson because I want to see if you get it. And so as I teach you these things and I leave that gap for you to answer the rest of my statement or my phrase that I've been teaching you all this time,
mhm.
now I can take you to the next level and I see that you're ready to advance. And so these are the things that we do naturally.
Right.
We're taught to do this. I could connect with a young teenage boy who is hard in the face, aggressive and mad at the world because I have friends who act just like you and know exactly how to approach you, you
Yes.
know? And yeah, so I just kind of wanted to throw that out there.
Gotcha. All right. My mom asked a question. Let's see. She wanted to know, is there hope for a man in his 50s to learn what he missed from his childhood?
Let me process that because I'm not
Okay.
there yet. I'm not
Okay.
in my 50s.
Okay. All right. That's fine. I would like to say
Yes,
yes, there is hope.
100% because what we do is we reflect on the lessons that we learn. While we're experiencing things, we don't know all that experience is going is in our path to teach us.
Hmm.
But when that lesson is or when that experience is over, you can look back and put the pieces together. And
Indeed.
so, as for what I'm understanding is, no matter your age, you're still growing. You're still realizing that there's more to life.
I
And
hope
in
so.
fact, I think that if you focus on your health, 50s is young because I'm gonna be 50 one day, and I'm not gonna be suffering just because I'm 50.
Indeed.
So yeah, there's definitely hope to process and heal from the things that you feel like you missed in your childhood because you still got life to go. So focus on being healthy.
Okay. Nice.
Mhm.
So she also said we need more conversations, many more of these conversations. Agreed, Ma. All right, Pete, he said, what qualities you to be called a
Qualifies.
I think he meant qualifies.
Mhm.
Is it age, finances, experience? So we kind of talked about that a little earlier, Pete. Not, and I don't know if we said qualifies, but what Andre did was kind of break down the kind of stages of
The
manhood.
roles.
Right,
Mhm.
right. So son, brother, friend, husband, father, and then kind of an elder, which we didn't get to that one quite yet. We actually hadn't really got the father quite yet, but um those are like the components of it. Do you want to
I
speak
got
to
an answer.
others? Okay, go ahead.
I got an answer. What I believe qualifies uh, us being called a man
Mm-hmm.
is approaching things with integrity, standing on your word, embracing the courage that you have, um, going into situations, experiences,
Mm-hmm.
not knowing what the outcome is going to be, but putting forth the effort and seeing what the outcome is actually, what the result is actually going to be due to the things that you've learned. Your finances can be where you want them to be one day, and then you can make a mistake. They can be taken from you in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
Your age, you could be an old fool, which is a problem because there are a lot of older men who didn't learn anything.
Show you right.
And also would like to add that there are some people who think that they know everything they need to know. And that's where you mess up right there.
Mm,
Because there's so much more to learn. There's so much more for you to be taught. You don't know everything when you're 25. You don't know everything when you're 75, especially if there's somebody older than you who can tell you more about being
mm.
a
Well,
man.
all right. Marcus said, I've had women throw what I shared in my face, and the result was I lost respect for her. Then slowly, I no longer trusted her. Thank you for sharing, Marcus. So that's an example of what you were speaking of earlier, Andre. Javon, I love this question. I would love to know how men determine what is a man. So we asked that question earlier, Javon. I know you joined us a little later, so maybe check out the replay. Some brothers responded, in some of the definitions were quite intricate. So definitely check that out. All right, Eric, it's a journey that involves learning to express emotions, handle challenges, and embrace responsibilities in a way that aligns with their individual understandings of masculinity. Thus, while women may benefit from the presence of masculinity, only men intimately understand the complexities involved in its development and expression.
Yes. We have desires of our heart that
Mm,
we know we aspire to achieve. We
mhm.
have failures that last with us for a long time that actually shape our approaches to
Yes.
circumstances. We have anxiety that you can't even see
Mm,
because if I let you see my anxiety, then you feel like, oh, we all going down.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So the it's more to being a man than what you were told or what the example that you were able to be with or live with or grow up with, because there are some things that he hid so you wouldn't see when he was about to break.
Mm,
There were some people he had to go to help build him up, you
interesting.
know.
Interesting, interesting. Okay, Antonio said that men also need therapy and also therapists that reflect them. We are missing that, especially black and brown men.
We're
And
on our way,
we are on our way.
and there are more than you think. I'm
Yes, and so
sorry.
Antonio is a clinician here in Tallahassee. So
Mhm.
I have grown.
Yes.
I've had grown men who came and guarded up and guarded. I'm sorry. I've had grown men who came and guarded end up crying in session. We need
Yes.
space. Agreed. Thank
100%.
Thank you for sharing that, Antonio. And so Ozzy said, my version is a thesis and it will take another hour. I get it. All right. So we're gonna have to wrap this one up. I feel like we were just kind of getting at it. And Eric,
Mhm.
I really appreciate your comments tonight, Eric, in particular. So thank you for sharing because you really were kind of getting to the heart of where I wanted us to go. But we got to do a part two. Is that good with you?
Look at that.
Is that good with you, Dre? Is that good with you, Dre?
Oh, yes. I look forward to it.
Okay, cool.
100%.
Cool, 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 cool. All right. Listen, this has been great, but I'm gonna give you opportunity to give some closing remarks and tell folks how they can connect with you.
Okay, so my closing remarks is that if you have a healthy individual and that healthy individual goes and teaches other individuals how to be healthy, eventually we will have a healthy community. And that is the goal. And the men can lead us to that,
Mhm,
and women can also lead us to that, because sometimes we fall short or sometimes we don't make it because our health can bring us down. So let us focus on being healthy. Let us listen when our women are telling us you need to prioritize your health more. and let us have more conversations in establishing what our community needs, what our children and our babies need, and let us help women understand the difference between what a real man is and what an imposter is or a
Mm.
coward is, because they are probably closer than you think.
Ooh. And I
They
just
cause a lot of problems.
ooh,
But
how
we
can
can help you with that easy.
they connect with you, Dre?
Okay, so you can go on my Facebook is Andre apostrophe Shaw the second. That's Andre Shaw the second, and my Instagram is just.n.ear. That's Justin Ear, just JUST dot NAN.ear, and my email is ashawjae at gmail.com.
All right, wonderful. Thank you so much for this topic, for this
Thank you, my sister.
conversation.
And
This
thank you
has
all.
been quite quite interesting. A number of folks are chiming in. I hope this has benefited you all in some way. I believe it has, just based on the comments. Thank y'all so much. Part two, Stephanie. Part two. Ronald, nice job. Thank you for being here. Good session. Thank you, Ozzy. So Ozzy is on Monday talking about self-acceptance. So Monday, Mindset Monday is going to feature Ozzy Daniel, who's out of Virginia Beach, Virginia. So y'all definitely want to tune into that 8:30 p.m. Eastern right here on Conversations with Nicole. All right. Marcus, outstanding conversation. Eric, I enjoyed this
Sure.
discussion topic. Thank you so much. We appreciate you all. Listen. Yes, more. D.
God bless y'all. God bless y'all.
They're chiming in.
Yeah.
Great show. Thank you, Roz. Appreciate you. All right. So, for those of you who may be new to the platform, I invite you to subscribe to Conversations with Nicole. We're here again Mondays and Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, focused on mental health and wellness, especially in Black and Brown communities, encouraging us to get our checkup from the neck up. So, Andre, thank you again. Again,
Thank
quite
you so
engaging,
much.
as I knew it would be. Uh, I
This
knew it.
was fun.
I knew it. I knew it. All right, cool.
Mhm.
Yes, Mark is giving us some fire. Jiva, thanks for sharing these insights, Andre. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Dr. Willie, I hope we can keep this going. We often ask and want a place to speak as men, but seldom show when is provided. Let me tell you, but Dr. Willie and the Tallahassee trainer specifically are doing some great work in the Tallahassee community, doing quarterly men's check-ins. I believe the next one, Dr. Willie, if you can put it in the information in the chat, but I believe it is going to be on the 30th of March at Highland Golf Course. And I don't know the time, but they've been doing these quarterly check-in for men. And, brothers have been coming out and just been able to have a place outside of the barbershop that they can connect with one another. So
It's beautiful.
I have come sometime just to help, like, serve the refreshments or what have you, just to support the brothers, you know what I'm saying? So it's needed. It's needed. It's needed. So definitely keep up the good work. Dr. Willie, please, if you again have the information, just put it in the comments in terms of the date, the time, and how folks can connect. All right, Monique, God bless you. Thank you
Yes,
both.
yes, ma'am.
Eric, thank you, brother. All
Yes, sir.
right. Antonio, you'll be hearing from me soon, brother. Great work. All
Right.
right.
Let's work. Let's get to work. They
Yes.
need us.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. All right, good people. We're going to call it a night, but y'all have a great rest of the evening, great rest of the week, and we'll see you next time. Peace.